And, I've been fortunate that I've gotten to stand up here a bunch at different events where we've announced new grants or opened new buildings or built exciting new systems and cut the ribbon on them, and celebrated other milestones in the history of the center. And at each of these milestones, I try to sort of distill down all the efforts we have and all the reasons that we do them. And as the center has grown and our users have done such a stunning breadth of accomplishments, it's gotten harder and harder to do. So today I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about our beginnings and then what I think the 5 key things are that got us to where we are today. So we were founded back in 2001, and our premise back then is what our premise is now, that if we could provide not only high performance computing resources, but the ability to use them well, that we could power discoveries that would change the world. And we still believe that's true today, even though the ways that we do that have changed an awful lot in that time. So, and as I said, I think there's sort of 5 keys to what's made us so successful. And one, of course, is the systems, which is the thing we're known the most for, around the country and around the world. It's sort of the engine at the heart of everything we do, is having these big computers here that are designed to tackle the biggest challenges. And our first system that, before we put in that first Dell system, Michael said he came in and saw the Cray system we had sitting here. That system, which was a hand-me-down from another center, was 50 gigaflops. Our new system, Frontera, our newest system, there's more coming, is 40 million gigaflops. So, not quite a million times faster, but almost there in the 20 years. And that first system had around 200 processors, and our last system had around 500,000 processors. We're looking at system designs on the order of 2 million processors today. So we've seen a lot more growth than just Moore's Law would imply. We've grown far faster than just the rest of the industry has in terms of our ability to deliver computing to science. And they've all been designed not only to be big and fast, but to be reliable and dependable, and most of all, usable by the research community. And that's the second key, which is the science that we produce. And so I think our first days, a real key to our success here has been our focus not on how fast we can make systems go, but on how we can get things done with them. We've always been researcher first in what we do. So in how we design our platforms, how we operate our platforms, how we support our platforms, we've put the user at the center of that. And as a result, we've supported tens of thousands of users who've run tens of billions of hours of computation here at TACC. And from our fairly humble beginnings, we've supported a whole host of Gordon Bell Prizes. Margaret mentioned the most recent one. We're, 3 of the finalists for this year's prize are running on the machines right now. I was watching those before I came over. We've supported Nobel Prize winners. We've helped single students toiling with transition problems late at night. We've helped Nobel Prize laureates and Nobel Prize winners working on billion-dollar projects. We've used our systems to understand matter at the nanoscale, and we've used it to study the universe at, well, roughly the scale of the universe. Dan, Jeff, you would have to tell us exactly how big that is today. So we've processed data and imagery, and we've run simulations for pandemics, for hurricanes, for floods, for earthquakes, for wildfires, for chemical spills. And in 2021 so far, 9 months in, research that used TACC systems has been featured on the cover of Science magazine twice, and a few times the year before related to COVID, this year in supercell thunderstorm formation and how water moves in aquifers. And all this science requires really big computers, but that's not all it requires. It requires a few other things as well. And one of those is data. And so people think about us as computing, but we're as much a place about data as we are about computing. And within a few years of our founding, we realized that big computing meant equally that we were going to have big data and all the challenges that come with that. And we not only had to be able to read it and write it fast enough, which was the first challenge, to keep all those big computers fed, but we needed to preserve it, we needed to curate it, we needed to make sure researchers could share it broadly with their colleagues and with the public at large. And from patient data for personalized cancer treatments, to databases of hurricane tracks, to patterns of dragonfly migration, to this year, we moved the archives of the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico, 50 years of astronomy data, to here at TACC. And scientific data today is as important as scientific publications, and an awful lot of that data finds its home here at TACC. So, and all of this data has required us to also understand the software and algorithms to do it. So the fourth key is tools. We've been fortunate to be here at UT Austin, where we can live in symbiosis with the Odin Institute that President Hartzell mentioned, which brings together some of the finest algorithmic minds in the world to develop the techniques that turn our collections of computers into instruments of insight and discovery. The software and libraries we built at TACC do everything from managing the complexity of the software stack to automating services to turn instruments at the edge, sending data into actions on the big machines. And frankly, software and tools has been by far the fastest growing part of TACC over the last 7 or 8 years. And all of this data that we have and the tools to use it has opened up the potential to use AI in new ways. One of the reasons we can make AI, and we've seen it explode recently, is we have enough data to train AI that's cheaply available. And these AI techniques are getting incorporated into both the scientific workflow and into many other problems that more broadly apply to society. And so from tools to do synthetic biology, to coordinating skies full of unmanned drones, to reducing the search space, to finding drugs to fight COVID, the tools of AI are poised to make our advanced computing even more integral to discovery and competitiveness. And then finally, and the most important thing, as Dan Jaffe mentioned, and I think every speaker has mentioned, is the people. So the people of TACC, the people who use TACC, the people who collaborate with TACC, who fund and promote TACC, and who supply us with the machines that we use. So it's the amazing people who build the tools, who create the algorithms, who analyze the data, who do the science and build the systems. And the success of TACC has always been foremost about gathering a set of extraordinary people with the brilliance, passion, and drive to tackle this mission. So through the last 20 years, we have had and we still have truly phenomenal staff here. And it's been an incredible privilege to work among so many of you. And for the last 7 years to lead you, the nearly 200 of you who are still here and the very few who made their contributions and moved on to other things. We've had incredible support from the people at UT Austin and at UT System, both from the leadership to allow us to grow at the rate we've had and give us the facilities that we need, and the incredible research community, our faculty here who partner with us and have helped us grow and make all this possible. We've had steadfast support from one of UT's biggest benefactors, Peter O'Donnell and his foundation, and especially in our critical formative years. We couldn't have gotten here without Peter's help. We've had some phenomenal support from vendors through the years to help us achieve all the things that we have. There have been many, many people at many, many companies, you know, in the old days, Sun Microsystems and IBM, but we've done more systems and achieved more with 2 of our partners through these 2 decades of TACC than with any other partners. And that's Intel and our hometown system provider here, Dell Technologies. And these companies and their people, they've believed in us, and they believe that in partnering with us, we could achieve things together that we couldn't do on our own. And that partnership has paid off, and it's been remarkable to see. And we've been fortunate, very fortunate, to have had the support and trust of the National Science Foundation, who has believed in us enough to choose to fund so many of our large proposals in competitive environments to make our dreams of world-leading impact here into a reality. So to all of you, those who were here at the beginning, those who joined along the way, all those who are here now, my very deepest thanks for all of this. And we aren't done yet. So the NSF funded, now in planning, awaiting congressional approval as we still move through many rounds of approval on this, but the leadership class computing facility is the next inflection point for us and our growth as we move forward to build machines even bigger than our current machine and tackle even bigger challenges in climate and energy and materials, and so many of the challenge that will face us all in the decades ahead. So we have great things that we can and will do in the years to come, and here's to the next 20 years. And with that, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody, and thanks to all of you who are here.